The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, traders. Welcome to the trading studio. My name is Andy, and that's Jamie I'm with. Unfortunately, Scott could not make it today. He had other responsibilities, but that's okay. The only thing we're probably going to miss is his sweet intro and the polls. So we won't be doing those today. I don't even know how. I'm sure I could figure it out, but I'm too lazy. But hey, David, how are you? So once again, this is the Trading Studio, and thank you so much for joining us today. Let's dive in. Okay, first thing we're going to do is go over the disclaimer here. We are content publisher here at Trade Ideas, Idea Generation. Okay, we're going to be talking about some stocks and some setups and things like that today, but please do not take this as investment advice. That's not what we're trying to do here. Just having a little fun with stocks and price action and things like that. If you are looking for investment advice, you want to seek out somebody who is licensed. That would be a stockbroker or a registered advisor. All right, let's look at the agenda for today. Market recap, steady as she goes, I guess. Holly recap. Much like my trading lately, Holly, well, I can't say that. I've had one good stock, POW, POWW, which was our TOW. That's been treating me well. But other than that, trading's been kind of difficult, and we're seeing it from Holly too. She had some nice days she put together, but lately, last couple of days, not too strong. But Jamie will kind of recap that. I was working on a strategy today because I'm seeing a lot of traders, especially if you've been trading kind of the small cap stuff. It's been kind of difficult lately, and especially the people who are trying to buy these breakouts that aren't happening. So I think if you're going to play those stocks, you should let them come back to you. There's some decent looking charts out there, but boy, seems like chasing. If you don't catch that right one or two of the day, man, you're going to get hit in the head. I'll give you an example of one that I've been eyeballing and was in and added to it today that just got pummeled. So I'm going to start trying a little different strategy, letting the price action come to me. So I built a little bit of alert today to give you an idea of what we're looking for. And as I was heading into this webinar, I had another configuration come to my head. I had no time to put this down, work on it or anything. So we may try to, if we have time, work on that together. So, and then the price alerts game. Once again, we had one really good winner out there, I believe. But other than that, seeing some difficulty in the price alert. So summertime, it is that time. So trading can get a little more difficult as the volume slows down and the price action gets a little whippy. But we will reload again if we have time. I think we should, but let's back out. Nope, I can't back out yet. I got to go through the 5-star support education and training here. Guys, we promote a vibrant community of traders, and we are here to help you. We got a lot of good traders here at Trade Ideas, and we know the software very well, and we want to help you, adapt to it very quickly. It all starts in the trading room with Barry there. He is not only a very good trader, he does know the software very well, and he's there to help you out as long as you need it. So just if you're in that room and things kind of slow down after the first couple of hours, don't hesitate to ask him some questions. Monday through Thursday, this same time slot, 5 Eastern time. You can see the lineup there on your left side. I'm going to kind of bypass talking about each one, but every day we encourage interaction. We're going to go over a couple of configurations a day that should help you. So definitely can get help in these afternoon webinars. But the big one is the support webinar that we have every Monday through Friday at 12 Eastern time. That is when we open up the live stream. We do have a chat panel in there so you can ask questions and we can answer you, and not only just answer you verbally, we can give you a visual and display something for you if we have to. So trade-ideas.com/live, or if you're in Barry's room, just hang on in there and we'll steal it for an hour during the day. All right, let me back out now. We'll save the other slides for the end. And let's pull up the old SPY. I'm not going to talk much about this today because what is there to say other than steady as she goes. Last 5 days have been, each one has pretty much been a gap up. Today we actually got a little bit of movement today. These other days were just, boy, just not a whole lot of movement at all. Zoom in a little bit so you can see. But today we actually extended the green body a little bit, so we'll see if that can be followed up. But boy, it could just be one of those summers that, unless if we don't have a black swan, a big macro event or something. I shouldn't say black swan. It could be something other than a black swan. It seems like the last 12 years it has to be a black swan or a pseudo black swan or whatever. But there's always something out there that can trip the market up. But if not, we could, just be a steady, slow grind, maybe a backing and filling every now and then. But Jamie, I don't have much to say. Let me see the cues, kind of the same story there. I'm not going to try to paint this up because there's really nothing to paint up. IWM has been lagging a bit, although today it did reclaim both of its moving averages, got back above the 20. So potentially looking to take out the all-time high and the IWM over the next several days. We'll see. But Jamie, that's, there's not a whole lot to add here as far as, marking it up technically. We're above all our moving averages, all-time highs in the SPYs and the Qs. So, I still think we need a bath, but it's hey, 401ks are looking sweet. Yeah.
And with the overall market averages doing what we see right here, I mean, it from a people probably not involved in the trading game were like, it was a good update. You probably could have bought anything and made money. Of course, we know that that's not the case. It's kind of hit or miss.
No.
That's what you were alluding to earlier. It's not the easiest market to trade by any means right now. So
Not
it
at
is
all.
what
And
it
I'll
is.
have more to add to that. Yeah, when we get after you wrap up the Holly. Yeah, for sure. Because it's been tricky when you get this rotation going.
Yeah, speaking of Holly, let me go ahead and grab it here,
All
and
right.
we'll just get this out of the way. So let me drag the strategies panel over here as well. So you got eyes on my screen now, Andy?
I do.
Okay. So a tricky day, no matter what risk mode. I don't know why my columns aren't behaving. Let me stretch that out a little bit. There we go. Okay. So we did have, predominantly long strategy plotter today. Of course, just because a strategy makes the cut doesn't necessarily mean it's going to fire anything. But when it comes to total signals, if you kind of just focus over here on the channel bar version, we had 11 signals. Not a ton of signals, but what's concerning is what we see over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Almost 50% of all of these plays stopped out. Typically, from, let's see, that one was 8 minutes in, 7 minutes in, 5 minutes in. These were a little bit later. Usually it's the ones that get triggered in that first 5-minute period that have the highest probability of stopping out just because of the crazy action that's taking place there. But we did have some that stopped out that were triggered later in the day. So once again, it's a big ratio of stop outs considering, well, what Holly normally does. So, as Andy was pointing out, as we break into these little highs right here, it always just throws a little bit of a wrench into the statistical analysis that Holly does, being a statistical system. So there's not really, can't, I'd like to make lemonade out of these lemons here. But when we look at these stop values, and we're going to talk about trade arounds first, just not a whole lot there to choose from because, obviously aggressive and moderate, these things really didn't change that much. I mean, we did have one that almost got back to flat in the form of, get my signal, my column, symbol column stretched out a little bit there, AFMD. Did stop out, and then it managed to get back to only down 1776. Wow, Andy, 1776, and we got 4th of July coming up. How's that for a coincidence? But anyway,
Interesting.
it did fit the mold here of a good trade around, because it only spent a little bit of time here, about 30 minutes, just kind of him-hawing around that stop area before it did take a little header back down, and not only getting back down to the original entry signal, but a little bit more, but still nothing to write home about. A lot of the times when these stop outs do trigger and a trade around is good, we're going to see green in the aggressive profit column, but just not any of those to be had today. So not really a lot to choose from the trade around types of trades, and not really any way to kind of make this any easier. I mean, it just stopped out. They just stopped out, and there's not a whole lot we can do about that. A little bit of positive on the ones that did work, because the top two winners, Aspen and the Keimer, they did exhibit those hallmark characteristics that we're used to seeing in the Holly, in some of the Holly trades, I should say. So let's take a look at ASPN first. Not a whole lot of spread between moderate and conservative right here. A whopping, we'll just call that $30. So not a whole lot of spread there, but some interesting action, okay? And once again, we've seen this time and time again. A little narrowing range here. Holly gets the signal right here. And of course, what are my eyes drawn to? Nice little leveling or consolidation area leading up to the signal. And then 30 minutes later, what are we doing? We're popping that nice clean opening range break there. So that would have been a nice time to leverage the ASPN position. Of course, how was the volume? Well, it was rocking some good volume all day, finishing up almost 6.5 on the relative scale. So right here, initial price of 33.04, tacking on a little bit, about 40 cents higher there. So that could have given us an average cost somewhere in the area of 33.20, and we capitulated at the top here about 34.70. So $1.50 on the table there, if you did average in and leverage that trade there. So not bad. The good news about ASPN is it never really gave us any flack. Once we broke this level here, just went on up like a good stock should, and just kind of hemmed and hawed. 10 period remained in control going into the close. So keep in mind, whether you averaged in there and took this secondary pattern, is not reflected here. So we could have, done considerably better than ASPN is showing from Holly here on the ad with the clean opening range break. So we got that auxiliary pattern, we got the statistical probability, and we had the volume on our side as well. Now with Keimer, blank that out. Pretty much the same song and dance, except Holly pulled the plug early, all right, whereas ASPN target was hit pretty quick. Let me just retrace that, because that was after that secondary pattern played out. Keimer a little bit different. Sometimes when the stock is going sideways after the signal, this one coming a little bit earlier, right at the beginning of the consolidation period, the AI, not that advanced on the exits or the audibles that it can call, just decides to pull the plug right here, and she settles for a flat, but once again, not really throwing us any curveballs, not even acting like it was going to come down here and test the stop level. But we got the same type of thing playing out here. All right. Opening range break occurs right here. Could have added to the position. Get my pointer back here. So the original cost, 53.43, or the signal price. And then 54.26, we could have added to that position. This one looking very similar to ASPN, but a little bit bigger on the point move that we incurred here. So once again, the three hallmarks: statistical probability, trade is behaving, hugging that entry line, potential secondary pattern playing out, which it did. So once again, a nice add opportunity here, and the volume was kicking pretty good. Finished almost at 10 on the relative scale here. So from a pretty nasty blotter today, a couple of gems that if we leverage these positions, could have done pretty well, even with all of these stops hitting us right in the face. So looking at the different risk modes here, keeping in mind that, all of the values that you see here are based on risking $100 per trade. I mean, even if we were in conservative mode today, down about $300, moderate, down slightly less, aggressive, of course, the worst. But with a couple of add-ons here, targeting that opening range break and that nice flat activity. Good chance of getting back to break even or losing a little bit. But all in all, this week's been kind of weird, Andy, because, I've been dealing with the AI in automation mode for, I guess this is week number 6 now, getting all the bugs worked out of the E-Trade Brokerage Plus, which we're almost there, I think. Probably still a few hiding in there, but all the major ones are worked out. Mondays typically aren't so good for the AI, but this week was a little different. Monday was a nice solid winning day on, I think, I can't remember how many trades, 4 or 5 trades.
Wasn't a lot.
And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of this week have been a little bit brutal for the AI, but kind of happens in any system. You're going to get your slumps, your downturns, your drawdowns. So it's going to be interesting tomorrow. We've got some economic data hitting before the open. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe we do. Help me out with what it is. I can't.
I was just keeping up with our trader thread earlier. Michael was talking about it, but I've had my head buried in the screens all day today, so I don't know exactly what it is, but I'll find out before the open.
Okay, there we go.
But sometimes that moves markets, sometimes it does not. But keep in mind, it is a Friday before a long weekend. Not saying that the market could not be crazy tomorrow. Typically it's not, but hey, anything's possible in this environment that we're in.
That's for sure. For sure.
Hey, I see a question there. Right. What happened to ATH? Well, the funny thing is, ATH was hitting ATH today. ATH was hitting all-time high, even if we kind of back out here and look at the weekly, you can see right here. So it was just a solid little play, and you know what? Just because of the low totals here, this was not a bad trade at all, okay? And look at what we have going right here, and I'm glad you, let's see who brought that up. Yeah, Gary, I'm glad you brought that up because I planned on talking about this one, just got a little ahead of myself. So check out the number 1, ATH, yesterday hammer, today strength. I don't really see
the hammer
there.
No.
but on the intraday here, I really like the signal because this looks like a breakout, something that would have been triggered by a breakout. Notice what was going on right here at the same time that the hammer today strength play called it. We were hitting that opening range break. We had decent volume in it today. This one just kind of hemmed and hawed all day long and then took off at the end. So 67.80, not quite 60 cents in that thing, but it was a solid little trade. I take these all day, every day. Even once it popped that high again towards the end of the day, if you include that wick, this would have been a fantastic place to get a little bit more on that one and then just enjoy that little uptrend into the close.
Not a bad one at all.
Yeah, so ATH, not a bad little winner. And probably would be, I love that weekly breakout there too.
Sure. Yesterday, yeah, would have been a nice catch.
Yeah, so maybe one to keep on the radar just to see if it sets up nicely.
Follow through.
Yep. But that's about it.
Not seeing the handle in that hammer though.
No, I'm like, okay.
Yesterday's anvil.
I'm not the most technically proficient candlestick guy, but I know what a hammer looks like typically.
There we go.
It's that thing from Donkey Kong, that Mario grabs.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Let me kick it back over to you.
All righty. All right. So I got this one opened up because open is something I've been in from this break right here around 17. Now I scalped some, but I've how you guys how I like to maintain a core position. Well, I've had a core position, and this is what it looked like today. And boy, that's just a really sweet pattern to me. You're sitting here, just keep bouncing above these moving average off the 10 and off the 20 moving average. So that was looking really sweet. Thought it was primed for today. So what do? I come out and buy more at the open on this bar right here, I believe, anticipating it's going to break through this 18 level. And then I just get whacked. So, and I'm seeing a lot of this. And it's just because we have a little fun that we trade. And a lot of this stuff, I tell you, man, if you're not in the stuff that's at the top of this Sector board, I mean, it's really hard to get stuff going, and usually it's only 2 or 3 sectors that are moving. Today, obviously, it was oil. Home builders are doing pretty good, but you can see there are a lot of energy here in the first 5 or 6, sectors there. So we're seeing the rotation still, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. So obviously, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of stuff very much like this open where they're setting up good, and boy, they just get whacked. So, I told myself, for the rest of this summer, I mean, it's going to have to look really, really pretty for me to buy breakouts because I'm seeing a lot of them fail. And it seems like to me a lot of these ones that do break out, especially you guys that play the small cap stuff, the stuff where you can bang out, if you're right, you can bang out 15-20% really easy. I'm not talking about the big oil stocks or the old school NASDAQ. You can get some pretty good runs in them too, but you're not going to get some of these 15 to 20 to 30% moves like a lot of traders like to trade, but they're hard to come by these days. So I said to myself, and you know what? I said, I want to be buying. I want to be buying when these things pull back to these. And I've made windows like this before, very similar to I'll take that. But what I wanted to do this time, because with I'll take that, you have to have a big move in the last 20 days or 10 days like that, and then it falls down pretty big to the 10. I wanted to keep something in a range like this that's trading above its 10 period, its 20 period moving average, and then they fall back and they tag it. Okay, so I was creating that, and I went ahead and made it. So let me just go ahead and take a look at the configuration real quick instead of us building it together, because what I'm going to try to do is we're going to kind of brainstorm for our next one that we build, because like I said, it just came to my mind right before we entered this webinar today, so I didn't even have time to work on it. But this one I did have time to work on. So basically what I wanted to do, okay, I wanted to be touching or close to touching its 10 period SMA. This is the daily. So I use just bracket it. I use a negative 0.05 for the men. I usually use a 0.05, but I went with a 0.08 today, because a lot of times what you'll see is these things will actually turn around before they tag it. And what'll happen is later in the day, as the 10 period moving average keeps creeping higher, at the end of the day, it'll look like it tagged it, but it was actually just the 10 period moving average moving higher. So anyway, I gave it a little more leniency on the upside. So if it doesn't quite tag it, I'll still get notified or alerted. 10-day range. I did not want one of those big ones like I'll take that. I wanted to keep this somewhat tight. 15% I know sounds like like it's not that tight of a range, but trust me, a lot of the stocks that I play, it is a pretty tight range. Price over $5. Position in 10-day range. See, I want it coming back to that 10-day moving average, but I want it in the upper portion of its 10-day range, which obviously just by using it, touching the 10 period moving average, in most cases it is going to be, but I guess if you had a crazy wick up high or something like that, that could throw off the 10-day range. So I want it in the upper half, I should say, of the 10-day range in this average daily volume of 500,000 shares a day. So let's fire it up, and I've already fired up and see. Now, trust me, a lot of these are semis coming through. A lot of the semis got hit today pretty hard. So don't be surprised if you don't see a lot of bounces in these. That's okay. If I'm looking to swing trade, I don't need the bounce to happen immediately, because I see it all the time. These things will look like crap, close on low for the day, and the next day they gap up a little bit and they take off. I am just looking, if I'm swing trading, I'm just looking for a good entry point right around that 10-day moving average, one that's been holding up pretty well. So let's take a look at this is just a history for today. And we'll start about, let's take a look. This volley it was ugly. I remember looking at that. So you got the signal around, you're still only 15 cents out of the money if you did take that right there. PBR, I think there's your signal. I mean, to me, there's nothing wrong with that. It's been consolidating for forever. you know, used to, I would say, gosh, that thing closed on lows. I don't want to be in that. But trust me, today, I mean, this thing, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if this thing, was back up to 1240 tomorrow. It's just the way things do. IQ, another one. There's your pattern. Not bad at all. Okay. I don't want to be buying the highs. I want to be catching things possibly on a trend right around their 10-period moving average. Now, nothing happened with this, and that's very, like I said, these days it seems like it's really common. Thought this one was a pretty good one. Huya. Okay, you got the signal down here around 1707, and this one did bounce. It held up and bounced right there. So that would be a decent call right here. But look, you're not buying highs up here, chasing that first bar of the day and then getting killed and selling to somebody who may have this alert looking to buy right here. That's why I called it "Come to Me, baby." So let the weak hands cough it up to you. ALGM, another decent one right there. 2714. Looks like it's trading up in after hours. I'm not sure if that's real or not, but there you have it. I'm focused on the daily. That's what I want to. That's what I want to see. I don't want to during this summer months when volume is low. I don't want to be chasing wicks. Let's see, didn't we already look at that one? Lure 60 semis didn't do a whole lot. That one, you're pretty much flat in that one, but there's your 10-period moving average. Let me know if I need to answer anything, Jamie.
No, but I have a bit of I have a bit of humor for you.
Sure. Something I did?
No, well, you didn't catch it either. When we were looking at the ATH,
Mm-hmm.
like if you pull it up on the daily, look, magically there's a doji now there on the prior day.
Oh my gosh.
We were both looking at the weekly and we didn't even realize.
Oh.
Thank you for pointing that out, David. Yes.
Yes. What are you doing with the weekly up? Do you always have a weekly up?
No, I pulled it
Or
up
you
just to verify it was at all-time high without having to scroll back forever. And I forgot to
okay.
change it back. So I'm like, look, there's no hammer.
That's funny.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, it has. Clack, for whatever reason, just had an awful day. I'm not sure what. I didn't look for news, but that's it wasn't huge volume, but boy, that was closed well below its moving average. So that one, you'd probably be sweating that one if you picked that one up at the 10-period moving average. This one, you're basically flat in, and now a lot of these guys are going to bounce. So what I want to do is quickly, ear, not bad. Right there, you got signal at 38.14. Now it's at 38.63. So decent entry right there. These got killed. That's not my signal. That is Holly's signal for today, I believe. Did not work. My signal was at around the 43.17 level. So down here, it's not showing my signal, I guess, because of Holly made the call. But it would have been around probably right around here. So you'd be picking it up right at that 10-period moving average. There's my open. Why didn't I just wait for that to signal later in the day? Not sure about this NXPI right at the close. Yeah, went down there and tickled it. So, guys, I'm seeing a lot of this stuff. And if you're going to be swing trading, this is more for, swing trading, in my opinion. You can catch some stuff for day trades, no doubt. But for me, I'll be looking at interesting charts that I can pick up. Maybe I just take half a position since if I think it's going to be, a nasty move and continue lower like Clack did, and then I can always add tomorrow or the next day. But I think this is the way to go. Real quickly, let's just give it a back test real quick. And let's just do it for. I'm not gonna optimize it or anything. We're just going to go with the raw data that I have in there just for an all-day trade, just to see what it looks like on a day trade. Risk management, we're going to stop since we're buying a pullback already. Okay, if it doesn't bounce pretty soon, you're probably on the wrong side like Clack, so we're just going to leave it at 1%. Okay, no target, just leave it at 1% stop loss. Advance 64 days, simulate buy. Let's see what this baby does. It's probably going to be pretty even on the win-loss column. but the key is the profit factor to me. Actually, looks like it probably has today's date in it. So yeah, 40 profit factor of 1.4, not a bad equity curve. Looks like a strategy that will probably work, you know, in this current market that we have. You almost got a 2-to-1 average winner versus average loser. And real quickly, let's just go ahead and do it on a swing trade. So we'll come in here, we'll back test this on, and remember, I'm not optimizing at all. You know, there's probably the ones early in the morning could be getting, you know, whacked for that 1% loss. But let's just go ahead and change the risk management. Since we're swing trading, let's do a 3% on the downside. And let's go advanced timed exit at the market plus 2 days. Simulate buy, see what happens here on a swing trading time frame. It's always cool to do this just to get an idea. Typically what I like to do when I build alerts like this, I like to just give it a good old eyeball, you know, observe what the market's doing. And just, yeah, if you're an experienced trader, a lot of times you'll know if it's set up, if it looks good and whether to take it or not. Even more impressive on a swing trading time frame. Basically a 50% winner and about not nowhere near 2-to-1, but maybe 1.75 to 1, something like that. So not bad. This is without optimizing at all, guys. So this is just throwing up there. I'll share it with you if you want to play with it later, for sure. But let me just go ahead and close these out. So, guys, this is a pretty decent alert, but I think the main point I want to drive home today is, you know, and I've done this a lot in the past. If you start trying to think of these ways to beat the market, you know, a lot of people like to chase the stocks. Okay, this is just a contrarian type method where you're playing the other side and looking for a good entry point. So keep that in the back of your mind, especially in the summertime, because, you know, as volumes pull down, there's a lot of shenanigans go on with these stocks. So especially in the early part of the day, be careful chasing stuff like I did in the first 30 minutes of the day on open. Think I'd know better, but I am a swing trading it, so it's a little bit different, but I definitely wouldn't have done that if I was day trading it. I would look for a confirmation of volume and a take out of that range break. All right, let me put this back on real time, guys, and I'll share this with you, and then we'll try to build this one. I just thought about coming into the webinar. Put it back on real time. Save and share to cloud. Save and share, and I want to drop it into the chat window. Come to me. All right, so I just wanted to build something, and we're going to do it in a top list form, okay? Because I started thinking today, what about some stocks maybe that are at support? You know, instead of using moving averages, let's try to use a support. Let's create a support like a 20-day support, and then do a bar reversal off of that. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to launch a new top list, okay? For those of you guys who might be new in here, a top list is essentially a scan that does not have any alerts in it, okay? What it does, it looks at your filters, and then it displays all the symbols in the stock market that satisfies all your filters, all your parameters. So let's start from scratch. And we're going to go to filters, and let's just put in our basics. I always start with the basics. I don't care about change from close. Price, I do want over $5. Average daily volume, you can always change this. I like at least 500,000 shares. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do position in 20-day range. We're going to add filter now, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to find stocks that possibly are on a support level. Now, remember, it doesn't have to be a strong support level as long as it's near a 20-day low. So that 20-day low could have been met the day before, you know, Whether it has support going back, I don't know. We'll have to eyeball and look at the chart. It'll make more sense when I show you. But let's just do this. Let's put a max of 20, okay? So hit our show me button. The price is no more than 20% above the low end of this range, okay? So we know it's somewhere near, you know, that 20-day low. All right, okay. And now we're going to do position in, I love these position in ranges. So now we're going to do position in yesterday's range, previous day's range. We're going to add filter, and we're going to put, let's put 98, just so maybe we can get a little bit of head start before, you know, some of these stocks that maybe it taken, you know, just about to take out yesterday's low. 98, and let's cap it too. Let's cap it at, so we can catch these early. Let's cap it at 120. May have to loosen that up. Remember, every range has a range of 0% being the low end. In this case, it's yesterday's range or previous trading day's range. Okay, 0% was the low end of yesterday. 100% is high. So theoretically, you can go as much as you want on here, right? It's still calculating it based on the high from yesterday. It just can't be 20% over that range. Let's add some columns and see what we got right now. Symbol. Let's go with, where's my price? There it is. Let's go change from close. Let's go relative volume. Like to see the relative volume as it's taking out yesterday's high, and there it is. And let's do position in 20-day range. And we don't need to do position. We know it's close to yesterday's high, so let's just launch it and see what we got here. Oh, we got a lot. I hate that. I might have to redo I hate that thing right there. All right, so we got quite a bit of stuff that's looking at its 20-day low and taking it out. I may have to clean this up. I definitely don't like that's just a mess of a stock. I may have to raise my okay, that's an interesting one. If it can take out and get back above, you know, this fast line right there. This one. This may be better and interesting right there. Had a couple of down wicks. Let me zoom in so you guys can see it better. A couple of rejection wicks as it tries to go lower, and now it took out yesterday's high. I would have liked to have seen something like that, although it looks like this is some sort of, that's a REIT is what it is. Kind of a funky trading stocks. Let me look in through here so I can find maybe something I'm familiar with. It's a nice one right there. Okay, there's your bar reversal. Okay, we can draw a line right here. And you can see that was a nice little support level, and we had a reversal. Not bad, pretty sloppy though in the last 5 days. Remember, this is something I just threw together today. So you're definitely not buying highs up here. You're looking for support, and you're looking for a reversal. There's your support. Nice little support level there, and did have a reversal there, but look what happened. It ran right into its moving averages. One you might want to mark up if it gets back above that 10. Could be interesting. Goodyear tire. Gold of all things was on there. A lot of airlines I'm seeing. Maybe the airlines are getting ready to bounce. I don't know. Play Dave & Buster's. That's pretty sloppy. Anyway, guys, like I said, I just thought of this before the webinar. I'll share it with you guys. Let me give it a name, and we'll just call this 20-day support bar reversal. And you can also turn this into, it may be more beneficial to turn it into an alert window where it's hitting a new high, and you could peg it right when it's taken out yesterday's high as well. But I'm gonna let you guys do what you want to with it, and I'll drop it in there. All right, let's put 20-day support. Then we'll take a look at the price alerts. There you go, guys. All right. Where are your price alerts? All right, let's see what we got. We did have Dave. Dave's been hot lately. SRNE with a 9% gain from the trigger spot. Other than that, I am not seeing a whole lot of winners. Let's see. That's basically it, guys. So we had only a big winner is Dave with about 9%. Had a couple of 1% there, 0.5%, another 1% for Neo for DraftKings. But all in all, pretty mundane showing. Just not a whole lot to report except for Dave's. And, it's kind of what we're seeing. I think we had one really, really good day in the last month where I shouldn't say day, but 1 week, one really good week that we had 3 winners around, I can't remember where it was, but it's pretty high. So anyway, things, summertime, things are getting a little tough. But I'll tell you what, congratulations to Dave, and let's erase and do it again. So if you're new in here, what we do, guys, is we just share these price alerts with everybody once I get them. And you just got to give me a symbol and a price, and I'll assume it's a long unless you tell me otherwise. And we'll play again. Let me erase these. Delete. And let me get a drink of water too. Oh yeah, Dave going back for it. Yeah, I don't blame you. That looked pretty good today. All right, so let's go with you're welcome, Mike. Let's see. SRNE. Dave is going to dance with the one who brung him, and he is going at 11. BKR 2374. And that is from Stan G. Ben Reynolds, CrowdStrike at 251. Okay. And let's see what else we got out here. TRGP 4627. And you're looking for a pullback. No, I'm sorry, my bad. You're looking for it to take out this level up here, 4627. Let me go to this chart. That is Paul. That looks like that's a nasty opening today. But no, I can see if it gets above that range right there, yeah, it could be off to the races. Yep, I like that one. It gets above there. Neo George, I love that stock, guys. It just makes me so mad. I pegged it right over here in this level, and I made some decent money, but boy, what did I leave a lot on the table. Just wasn't expecting that. Ugly day today, so he's going at 51. So he's looking for a bounce back after that ugly day today. And that was George Young. Oh, Ben Reynolds wants a short on Crowd at 251. Okay, let me go find it. Edit. Short. There we go. Diddy didn't do it the other day. Diddy at 1650. Probably going to fire off here in after hours, but it's okay if you get it in before, as long as it doesn't fire here. This is Gary R. GP long from 1840. And that is Neil. You're welcome, Ben. PBR, did I do that one? I don't think I did. And he would like to have that at 1244, and that is Martin. Waleed, Airbnb. You know, I was looking at that today, and I passed on it, and I'm glad I did. It was looking good right there with volume coming in, but hey, Waleed's going to catch it if it goes back through 147.50. At 157, I'm 50. Be fair. Let's see. Yeah, let me fix that. So, crowdsource. Let's edit again, and that should be price rises. Okay, so I need to take that off. Okay, short. There you go.
It's
Oh, it triggered.
250.90 in.
Oh,
See, is that going on? And let me see if it's post market. Yeah, it took a big spike up, but it's showing 250.90. So I don't know why 251 would
251 triggered, huh? Yeah,
trigger.
maybe it did go up there. Well, you know what? He gave it to me before, so we're gonna let him have it just because I didn't put that. We'll let him have it there. APLS long at 68. I'm so used to going to those dock windows creating and try to go there every time. And that is Betty Sue. DDD. I was looking at that today as well. And DDD 4149. And that is Slava. All right, we got a good group here already. About a dozen, 10 to a dozen anyway. All right, guys, going once, going twice. Let's make sure I didn't miss anybody. I don't think I did. All right, I'm about to share them, guys, so need to get it in the next 5 seconds before I click share. And too late. Copy all. All right, price alerts are going into the chat window. Be sure to get them so you can track your performance. And not only that, maybe get some really good alerts offered to you in the morning or in the afternoon or next few days. All right, guys, so I guess I'm in charge of walking out these last slides, so bear with me as I am kind of new to this. All right, we do have an ebook that is written by Dave Mabe. He's our director of software development, and it's called My Favorite Strategy Indicators. You can download for free, guys. Just go to trade-ideas.com/strategy. Podcasts. Pick up your favorite app. I mean, in your favorite app, guys, let's look for Trade Ideas and download it and listen. I'm not sure if we have, probably don't have one coming up this week. I mean, tomorrow, since we're heading into a long 4th of July weekend, but plenty of archived podcasts in there, guys. So check them out. If you haven't heard our all new strength alerts, okay, this is only $17 a month. Okay, if you're not ready for a Trade Ideas full subscription, pick up the strength alerts. Just go to trade-ideas.com/strength. Okay, these are offered to your email every Sunday night. So pick that up, guys. Like I said, it's only $17 a month. You'll get some great ideas from those stocks each week. We do have a promo code called Sunshine. All right. Of course, you would be unwise to use this since you can use Happy 4th and get 25% off right now. So if you are interested, we never go more than 25%, guys. So it's a big sale. So remember, Happy 4th is the way to get 25% this weekend. So same to you, George. All right. You can see, check us out. If you have any questions, support, answers, guys, the best place to go is send it to this info@trade-ideas.com. Okay. This is for billing questions only. Okay. So that's the best place to go. It'll get routed to the right person to answer it. And so that is it, guys. Thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful 4th. I will be doing the support webinar tomorrow. So hopefully, I know I'll see some of you guys in there, although probably be thin with the long weekend coming up. Yes, Ben, happy 4th to you. Thanks, everybody. Jamie, if I don't talk to you, I'll talk to you tomorrow, but have a happy 4th anyway.
Same to you. Yep, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. You going to shut her down?
I'll shut her down. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.